What is up, everyone? Dan the Cardman back again. We've got a bonus video for this week. There's a few things I want to clarify with regards to backyard breaks in my recent videos that I want to talk you all through today. There's something else I want to talk to regarding the hobby house and this LaMelo Ball rookie card logo man. But also I want to clarify my thoughts, or reiterate my thoughts, I should say, from the Sports Card Radio live stream regarding Panini and their lack of communication. So we'll start with the hobby house first up, and then we'll get to the other points a little bit later on. So the hobby house hit a LaMelo Ball rookie card logo man auto the day the Sports Card Radio live stream went down, if I remember correctly. And following that, basically on Twitter, he was having discussions with people, and then he mentioned that he bought the case from Backyard Breaks. So me seeing that, I got a little bit excited. I was like, okay, this is something I need to talk to, because this speaks to, again, another hot box with a product hit going to Backyard Breaks that now they've on-sold to someone else. And there's lots of conspiracies there. You could say, okay, when the Sports Card Radio investigation started, that made Backyard Breaks panic, and that's why they sold the case to this person. So all these things were going through my mind, right? And then right before I recorded my video from 2 days ago or a day ago, whenever it was, basically he came out and said, no, I was only joking. So I was like, okay, I need a bit more time to make sure that you're actually joking. Are you just saying this because you're trying to backtrack? You've copped some heat from Backyard Breaks for saying these things, like what's actually going on. Took that back foot step. And then I got a bit excited with Sports Card Radio's video this morning where they mentioned at the very start that they were planning to have him on for a call. Unfortunately, Hobby House declined the call. He didn't decline the call. He agreed to the call. And then on the scheduled time when him and Ryan were meant to have this call, he bailed. Ryan called him multiple times, didn't get an answer. The guy went completely AWOL, which in my opinion does not look very good because, right, if it is a joke, why would you not feel comfortable going on and talking about it? Now, I know some people are scared to talk to Sports Card Radio sometimes because of the way that they approach things. But in my opinion, like I've explained many times in the past, they do a really, really good job handling themselves. They don't go after people or anything like that. You look at the people they've had disagreements with in the past, including most of the guys that went on the live stream defending Backyard Breaks. They were quite amicable for like the most part. Things only got heated when heated discussion points happened on both sides of the argument, right? So I found it a bit odd that this guy bailed. The fact that they are friends with the people from Backyard Breaks, the fact that they are both local to each other, you know, in Florida, does not look good either, in my opinion. Yes, it could still be coincidence, like I explained in my video from yesterday. But at the same time, this stuff is, it's when you see stuff like this is when you have to start asking questions, right? When there's perceived threats to like a process or threats to independence. Like I've said before, I'm an external auditor. So when I look at business processes and I can understand risk points and things like that really, really well, this is like a mini red flag, in my opinion. The fact you've got somebody saying something, backtrack saying it was a joke, then come on and said, yes, I'll chat with you on your show, and then backtracked on that as well. That does not look good at all. Now, if that is the case, that this is another hot box that has in fact gone to Backyard Breaks and has then been sold to somebody else, that does not look good. If that is true, that it went to the hobby house, sold from Backyard Breaks, that does not look good in any way, shape or form. Especially when it looks as though the box was sold once the Sports Card Radio discussion started. That does not look good in any way, shape or form, right? That looks like the ultimate hanky-panky. Now, I know I said in my video from yesterday that I'm still, you know, probably 50-50 in this situation. I keep going back and forth. Like I'm floating around 50-50. I'm saying it might just be coincidence, but at the same time, there's all these questions that need to be asked. I've done a bit more research into the numbers themselves, and I still probably put a little bit more value on them than I did in the past. Like I just think there's something fishy going on here. Whether it's at Backyard Breaks, whether it's at somebody else, who's to know? I'm not accusing anyone of anything directly. I just find it a bit odd. Now, like I said, if this thing with Hobby House is true, that it did come from Backyard Breaks, I am definitely leaning towards, you know, some hanky-panky going on somewhere within the process. And I'm not saying anything intentional has happened from Backyard Breaks, but this just, the optics of this don't look good, and you can understand why somebody would ask that question. And the next point is going to be Panini. And like I said in the live stream, so this was one of the few times that I actually got to speak because there was somebody on defending Backyard Breaks at the time that basically overtalked everyone. But this thing from Panini that I did mention was their lack of communication. Like the silence was deafening, and it was good to see the Sports Card Radio boys reiterate that again today, because the fact that we've not seen anything come from Panini is not a good look in my opinion. Like, yes, some people might say, well, they don't need to explain anything because they've got nothing to hide. But at the same time, something like this is a really simple statement. Like I said in that live stream, all they have to say is, you know what, guys, this is not how our distribution channel works. We do not sell directly to Backyard Breaks. There is no way for anybody to send this information to Backyard Breaks. There's no way for anybody to know what products are in these boxes, or even a little bit less than that. That's all they have to come out and say, and then that looks good. I just think it looks a bit odd that they're not saying anything, in my opinion. And again, it speaks to some of this crap that, you know, Panini have done, you know, Tobbs have done, Upper Deck, all these sorts of things, all these sorts of graders. The communication has been absolutely shithouse the last 2 years, right? They've basically taken the hobby forthright, and their lack of communication, in my opinion, speaks to a total disrespect for you as a customer, right? Because I think the accusations, whether it's towards Backyard Breaks, whether it's towards Panini, whether it's towards whatnot, it's basically towards this process, right? I think they are pretty damning, and the fact that you could have somebody out there buying this very expensive product, expecting to get a hit, but then somebody internal within that process is undermining the process by sending hits to somebody else. That's a pretty big situation, right? And I think Panini have an obligation to let those customers know that have spent a lot of money on these products, that everything is okay, this is just hearsay, this is just conspiracy, this is just coincidence, as opposed to saying nothing. Because them saying nothing, if I was somebody that spent that kind of money and I see that there's people out there getting all these hits, right, and there's people saying with numbers and things like that, that it looks like hanky-panky, that would not sit right with me. So I think they have an obligation to these customers to come out and say, hang on guys, like, we understand your stress, there's nothing to be worried about, we're comfortable with the process, we've done these checks, there's no concerns. All right, that's what they need to come out and do. And like I said a little bit earlier, like, I keep floating where I sit on this situation. I think overall I'm pretty, like, even though I just said I'm probably leaning more towards a little bit like hanky-panky, like, I'm still like in the middle. It's a hard thing to grasp my head around. Like, if these numbers are true, like, I'll just reiterate this, right? If these numbers are true, in the sense that the math backs up what's actually happening, and it does imply that the odds are this insane, right? I'm going to rely on what the work of others have done so to get me that comfort, then yeah, it is a bit strange. Because like people have said, this is a once in a, not even a generation, this is once in human history chance of happening, right? So if it is from that perspective, then yeah, it is very, very sus, including if this Hobby House situation did happen. Like, if Hobby House did buy the box from Backyard Breaks and that is proven to be true, then I'm probably going to lead towards hanky-panky happening. Like, that is very, very damning in my opinion. And I'm not saying that Backyard Breaks started dumping boxes or anything like that. I'm just saying, like I've said before, Backyard Breaks more than likely don't even know anything's going on. If there is somebody funneling boxes to them, like I explained in my scenario 2 and 3 yesterday with regards to Whatnot and Panini wanting stuff like this to happen, if there was somebody within the process trying to line their own pockets and try and send cards to Backyard Breaks to try and get them views or whatever, like, there's somebody within that process doing these things, like, it just doesn't look right, in my opinion. So yeah, take what I've said with a grain of salt. I think, like, me personally, I'm probably, you know, still around 50-50, but if this Hobby House stuff, like I said, I'm probably leaning towards hanky-panky. So yeah, hopefully this is the last time we talk about it, because some of you guys might be getting a bit bored. If anything does come to light, I will flag it again in a video, but I just wanted to talk about it today. So I'll give you that update and then re-clarify my thoughts. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.